guys, my name is Faith Boyson, and today I want to share a little bit about my trip to Haiti, how it went, what I experienced, all the adventures I was on. First of all, Haiti, it's very small. It's located in the Caribbean Sea. Actually, Haiti is just part of the island of Hispaniola. The Dominican Republic is on one side, Haiti's on the other side. So it has two kind of peninsulas here. I was down in the lower part. Where the clinic was right around here on the island. So there's the picture of Haiti. First of all, to get into Haiti, I had to take a COVID test. And I had my COVID test scheduled weeks ahead of time. I was all ready to go, but then less than 48 hours before I was supposed to leave for Haiti, I got a message saying the COVID testing clinic in Lancaster shut down. And I was so surprised. I started worrying. I'm like, what do I do now? I was able to find two places that offered 24 to 48 hour testing results after they got it processed. And so I was, yes, maybe I can do this. So I got two of those tests on Sunday, but Monday evening was coming around. I had to leave very early in the morning, and I started getting worried. So I had my mom bring me to Philly, and I was waiting in line to get rapid testing at an expensive place. It was very expensive. But one person ahead of me, I got a message on my phone, your COVID test is back. And I was like so relieved. I was like, wow, God, you are taking care of me. Your hand is on me. You know what you're doing. So my test came back negative, and I was able to stay the night in the airport. Fun. And I boarded the plane in the morning, and I was so happy to be traveling again, going to another country, going on new adventures. I was just finishing up my microbiology course for the summer, so during my layover in Florida, I had to be doing school and in class, so it was a very exciting time of trying to find my gates and do school and interact with the class at the same time. But I was so happy when that was finished, and I saw Haiti down below. I was surprised to find people that I knew when I got off at the airport, and then we rode in the back of the truck to the mission house to stay the night. Port-au-Prince streets are very fun and interesting, as you can see in the pictures. Because of the political climate in Haiti, we had to take a small plane to go over the mountains to the city of Jacmel so that we would avoid the road where there are roadblocks and shootings that would take us directly to Tigouave, where we wanted to be to head up the trail to the mountain. So this is a picture of the plane and flying over Haiti and what it looks like from a small plane. It was really fun and interesting. The country of Haiti is very beautiful. I soon learned why it takes so long to get everywhere, though, because the roads are switchbacking up the mountains. They can oftentimes get washed out, so that makes it difficult to travel and makes them very bumpy sometimes. Regardless, it was fun. I was getting a cultural experience, and by the time we got to the mission, it was evening time, and we were able to eat supper and sing songs and go to bed. One of the highlights was actually being able to play music with the workers at the mission here, because it's just something I really enjoy, and being in school I'd been so busy and not had time to sit down and play much music, but that's one thing I was able to do in evenings after we were done working at the clinic. So here's a little bit of that music. It was really fun. The mornings were relaxed. It's really nice not having to get up and rush around. So I was able to spend time with God, memorize scripture, do all that. And then we would gather together and sing and pray and eat breakfast and head to the clinic at 9. I'm going to pick a banana for breakfast. A few days later, there were a lot less of them, and they were a lot more ripe. Yum, yum. On the way to the clinic, many people greeted me as I walked by. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? I loved how friendly they were. Here's the outside of the small clinic. These are people that were waiting at the clinic when we got there in the morning. After they are screened and admitted, they are sent to different rooms to wait according to what they need. There were people that had wounds that needed taken care of, so we did a lot of wound care. Here I'm putting the last final bandage on someone's wound. There were lots of kids to be seen. They were so cute. there were older people with high blood pressure issues, different things that people had traveled to us to get a little bit of medical help. The nearest hospital was 2 hours away over really bumpy roads. So it means a lot to them to have a clinic where they can at least get basic care. Some of the things we had to send on for them to get more medical help that we did not have access to. Like there was this one woman that came in with a breast abscess, and the best thing we could do was give her a little bit of money to go get a sonography, and who knows what she'll do with that money. Life is hard in Haiti. She might take it and buy food so her children and grandchildren can eat for one more day. But that's the harsh reality of life in Haiti. Here's the hospital room where people are allowed to stay if they are too sick to walk home. I was able to put an IV in the man with the red shirt there. He was so dehydrated and so exhausted. So he needed some extra nutrition. The next day I went in to check on him, and he was so happy. Totally different person, so thankful that he had gotten that help he needed, and he was able to go home. So it's so fun to see people's lives changed by a simple act of kindness, just being able to help them in a special way. Here is the pharmacy where medication is stored, and over on the other side are windows where people come and they bring their tickets that the nurses have written out and get their medications. In the back there's a bunch of different supplies that are needed. My favorite part of visiting the clinic was working with Danielle in the women and babies room. This is where they do the prenatal checks, and if women have complications at home when they're having their babies, they come to the clinic and they can get basic medical help here. There was one woman that came in with a heartbreaking story of having 3 children with 3 different guys, and now she was 6 months pregnant with the 4th child, and that man left her as well. She had no way to care for the children, and she was so depressed. She had taken something to try to end the pregnancy. She was in a lot of pain. We were able to find the baby's heartbeat and offer her support and comfort and a ride to the hospital if complications arose. But that's the sad reality for many people, that they need Jesus to change their lives, and they need his love. It means so much to them when there are people that really care for them as human beings and just support them through the hard things they are going through, and they can offer some hope for a better life, for a better future. And that's what we try to do at the clinic, just to care for them and show them Jesus' love by helping them, be Jesus' hands and feet to them. When the day's work at the clinic was done, I loved to go visiting people that lived in the mountains. This was actually the highlight of my trip, hiking up the mountains and just interacting with the people in their homes. So here I am walking through a riverbed on a little trail. This is where the people wash their clothes and get water for cooking and drinking. And then we climb up the mountains again. As you can see, it's a very steep climb. You take notice of the bean plants. These are the people's fields that they grow along the sides of the mountains. The scenery is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And yet we climbed higher. Finally, we got to our friend's house, and we were greeted by warm welcomes, and they offered us chairs to sit on. Multiple generations live in this house. There's usually a cooking shack outside where the cooking is done, and they cooked a delicious meal of bean sauce and rice and vegetables. Oh, it was so good. The Haitian people are so giving. They sent food home with us too. I went out visiting a few times, and it was just so enjoyable. On Saturday morning, we were able to experience a festive Haitian wedding. The food was awesome. The people were great. Here is a picture of the team I was with. They're some of the most loving, kind, caring people. Several of them are staying there for a year or more. After the wedding, we went swimming in the waters of the Caribbean. Oh, it was so fun. I think the waters were clearer than the agency, at least the part of Haiti I was in. On Sunday, we went to church and got to worship God with all the Haitians. You can can see the church building in the top center of the photo. This is where they gather to worship on Sundays. I totally enjoyed my time in Haiti. I love the Haitian people. I got to spend time dancing with them, singing with them, just being friends and practicing my Creole. I even got my hair done. That was fun. I will also treasure time spent with the team there and all the memories I made. I was so sad to leave. Here is a picture the morning we left, and then we pulled out of the mission and we went to the hospital in Tigouave, which is here, to get our COVID tests. Here's one last Haitian meal we enjoyed before heading to the airport to fly back to Port-au-Prince. Here's the little plane we got to fly in. That was so exhilarating to fly through the bumpy wind and get to see the place where the airplane went down with some of the mission workers a few weeks earlier. Here's me riding to the airport. I was sad to leave, but I'm so thankful for all the memories, experiences, and friends I made. Teddy welcomed me home. Shortly after I got back, an earthquake hit the western tip of Haiti, and my friends were able to go and provide some immediate relief to people that had no access to medical care. Lots of people had fallen into fires when the earthquake happened because lots of people cook over the fire. And of course, buildings, debris had fallen on a lot of people, so there's a lot of injuries that were beyond my friends' medical expertise. But they were able to help some people get to hospitals by boat, by helicopter, because primarily where they were able to provide relief was on an island that had no medical care there. So yes, Haiti is in great need of help and prayers. But the Haitian people are strong and resilient, and I know that God will help them to rise above the challenges and just be the awesome people that they are. So I hope you guys got a little snapshot into what it was like in Haiti, what I did there, what I experienced. I mean, there's nothing like actually going there and experiencing it yourself. So I would encourage anyone who wants to get out and go on a mission trip, even just to visit, to see if it's something you would love to do. Your heart will get changed. It's amazing seeing what God's doing in other countries and how He can use you to help and bless many people. So yes, that's my trip to Haiti, and I want to continually have a surrendered heart. If God asks me to go back, I'm gonna go back in a heartbeat.